All right, welcome to notes number 4, which is called Matter and Its Property. And you are going to love these notes. Not only because it has super cute smiley faces, thanks to my daughter Caitlin, but these notes are really short. Awesome. Okay, compared to notes 1, 2, and 3. So let's get started. All right, so this is the title, again, Matter and Its Properties. And our first question, there's only 2 questions in these notes, and our first question is, what is matter? This is a concept that you should have already gotten in previous science classes, probably in middle school, if not elementary school. But matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. Those are the only 2 parameters that something has to have in order to be classified as matter. So a lot of things can be classified as matter, such as a car, rain, dog, toothpaste, lamp, okay, even your breath. The breath one is something that most students are kind of confused about, but if you think about it, you can blow up a balloon with your breath, therefore it takes up space and if you weigh the balloon before and after you have blown it up, it has mass as well. So those are some examples of matter. We'll take a look at some examples that are not matter. All right, and here are some things that are not considered matter. For example, a thought, an idea, feelings like happiness, sadness, anger, those kind of things are not matter. We cannot take a thought and weigh it, or a thought doesn't take up space in your brain. Okay, so those kinds of things are considered not matter. So matter, again, anything that has mass and takes up space, and things that are not matter are ideas, thoughts, and abstract stuff like that. Okay, that's our first question. So we're going to just take a look at our second question. What is the difference between a physical and chemical property of matter? We will start with physical property. Okay, so a physical property of matter is a characteristic that can be observed or measured without changing the sample's composition. So if you have something and you break it, okay, you smash it, or you melt it, or you freeze it, okay, what you're doing is you're changing the physical property of the matter, but you're not actually changing the chemical composition. Okay, so for example, if we take water's chemical composition is H2O. So if we take liquid water and we freeze it, okay, we have solid water. It's still H2O. We haven't changed the chemical composition of water. Okay, so that's a physical property of water because we haven't changed the H2O part of it. Okay, so let's put down some examples of some physical properties of matter, and all of these examples will be things that we can observe about a substance without changing its composition. All right, so here is a list of examples of physical properties. Density is a physical property of matter. Density, we'll see in the next notes, is mass divided by volume. Okay, so when you measure the density of something, you're going to weigh its mass, and then you're going to take its volume, and you're going to divide those 2 numbers. Well, when you take a mass and a volume of something, you're not changing the chemical composition. All of the atoms and molecules stay where they are. Okay, so density is a physical property. Again, melting point or freezing point are physical properties. Texture, color, mass, solubility, okay, how well it dissolves, odor, malleability, and shine are all physical properties of matter. All right, so let's take a quick look at chemical properties of matter then. So the chemical property of matter is the ability of that substance to combine with or change into a different substance. Okay, so if we're changing it into a different substance, we're changing the chemical composition. All right, or so for example, if we have that water that we were talking about earlier, H2O, if we decompose water into H2 and O2, the two gases that make up water, hydrogen and oxygen, we have changed its chemical properties. It's no longer a liquid that we can drink and cook with and, is a part of life. It's, if we can decompose it, it's now two different gases. All right, so that's a chemical property. So we're going to write down one more example of a chemical property. So this example is iron, which we'll learn the chemical formula of iron is Fe, forms rust, which is Fe2O. Okay, so that's the chemical formula for rust, when combined with oxygen, and oxygen's chemical symbol is O2. All right, so we've taken iron and we've changed it into rust by combining it with oxygen. Okay, so we're changing its chemical composition, so that is a chemical property. Now, tomorrow in class, you'll be going through a bunch of different scenarios and having to figure out whether it's a physical or chemical property. And so you need to keep in mind that the chemical properties, you'll be getting new or different compositions in the end. Okay, so if it says, this has turned into this, then that's definitely a chemical property. Now, physical properties, like we talked about, are things that keep the composition the same. All right, so those are two things you have to keep in mind tomorrow as we do our activity. So let's just put down that one key concept again for chemical property. All right, and that again is that in chemical properties, chemical compositions have changed. Awesome. So that happily is all of our notes, all of less than 10 minutes. So we will see you tomorrow in class.